Welcome to our 18th episode of Black Dance Stories. Here's a note about why we are here. Our dance world was pummeled by COVID 19, and Black dance artists are finding ways to talk about life during this time. Our world was turned upside down after horrible events ensued nationally and globally, bringing attention yet again to the need for the Black Lives Matter movement. Black dance artists have not been quiet. Black dance artists have been doing the work. Black dance artists continue to make work. To stay involved, we hold these weekly impromptu discussions and tell stories. Black dance stories. This is one action, and we promise to stay involved. We are a community working together to support, uphold, highlight, and celebrate Black creatives. Tonight is our 18th episode of what we hope will be many stories told in the artist's own voices. Thank you so much for making time to witness. We are honored. Please help to spread the word about our special time together. Tonight, it's Jennifer Harge and D. Sabela Grimes' turn. Yay! Please meet our BDS team, and I'll go first. I am Charmaine Warren. I am a Jamaican. I am the great granddaughter of Ida Boyd, granddaughter of Solomon Goldson and Ruby Chapman, and I am one of 9 children by Theophilus Warren and my 94-year-old mother, Perline Warren, who lives in Jamaica. I am a non-disabled Black woman with the utmost respect to the Native people. I acknowledge that I live on the stolen land of the indigenous Lenape people, now known as Montclair, New Jersey, with my husband, photographer and graphic artist, Tony Turner. Our daughter, Ashay Turner, a Black ballerina with locks, is in her junior year at Boston Conservatory. I have locks that are braided, pulled up on top of my head, and dangling a little bit. I'm wearing a blue and white blouse and blue and white earrings with cowrie shells. Behind me are photos of our family, a large plant, a lamp, and African masks. My heart is more and more full every week when we gather in this special community place. It is humbling to say the least when I see all of your names in the chat and when I get to sneak a look to see what you're chatting about. Equally humbling is this place where fabulous friends, good people, kick butt artists say yes to join this community when we ask. I turn it over to Kimani.
Thank you, Charmaine. And as always, number 18. What? What? It's good to be here with you tonight, Thursday fam. So, the importance of acknowledging our familial and dance legacies is an essential tradition. With deep respect and honor, I want to acknowledge the Lenape people, whose stolen land I am zooming from, currently known as the village of Harlem. I am a Black, non disabled woman, and I live with my 9-year-old son. I am sitting in my dining room. I have a golden low cut hairstyle. I'm wearing a black top with an amber silver necklace. It's necklace day today, everyone. I am the granddaughter of Lucille Madison. I teach because of her. I am daughter of Ronald Augustus Fowlin, Jamaican warrior, and Anne Fowlin, Renaissance woman. I dance because of them. My son Tamayo keeps me present with the fascination of a blossoming young visual artist. And with that, I turn it over to Nick.
Thank you, Kimani. Hi, everyone. I'm Nicholas Xavier Hall. I'm Haitian American. I'm a Black, non disabled man. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'm the grandson of Gertha Farr and John Claude Hall. I'm also the grandson of Jacques Arnold Nicholas and Marie Violette Alexandre. I was born in Brooklyn to Sheila and Curtis Hall. My family, including my sisters Isabella and Victoria, and I live in Montclair, which is on the stolen land of the indigenous Lenape people. I am also a recent graduate of the Fordham Ailey BFA program. I dance because it reminds me to keep dreaming. I'm in a white room wearing a houndstooth button down. Behind me is a mirror, a TV, and a black figure Matisse painting. And with that, I'm going to pass things back to Kimani.
Got it. Thank you. So, as always, it takes a village, and our village exists in front of the camera and behind.
Yeah.
And this family is Cynthia Tate, publicist, Gabe De Coladenu, web designer, Caitlin Chandler, video tech expert, Renee Redding Jones, director of development, Tony Turner, graphic designer, and our ASL interpreters, Sadie, Kira, and Kenya. So, I want to say that um, our BDS team will continue to stand in solidarity with all those who want an immediate end to systemic racism. Ongoing instances of police brutality prove the need for support from Black dance stories and the larger community. That also includes voter suppression. So please, please, please vote. It's 4 days and counting down. There is early voting available. And if you'd like to find out early voting in your area, please check out vote.org website.
Mm-hmm.
So please, please, I can't stress it enough. Vote, vote, vote. And I will turn it back to Nick.
Thank you. So, just some housekeeping with me. Everyone, I'd like you to please put your name in the chat. We want to know who's joining us tonight. That's a big part of Black Dance Stories, our community. Also, while you're there, take your phone out. Right now, take your phone out. Follow us on Instagram at Black Dance Stories. Follow us on Twitter at BLK Dance Stories. And please, please, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your friend, tell your aunt. We have a big, big goal of making it to 1,000 subscribers before the year is up. So we need you guys to help us do that. So please, please subscribe. While you're there, leave a like and a comment. And I think with that, I think it's time to grab a, I don't know, a glass of wine, a cocktail, a glass of water, but I think it's time to cheers to Black Dance Stories.
Cheers, cheers.
Cheers. Shall
And
I take it?
yes, it's yours.
It's mine. Okay, I'll take it. Nick, I don't know if you remember, but we wanted to also have folks think about what's going on in
In
Nigeria.
Nigeria, yeah, we want to make
Kimani.
sure that
Go ahead, Nick.
we want to share that Black Dance Stories stands in solidarity with the citizens of Nigeria. Um, we stand in solidarity with those that are protesting to fight to end the violence that is being caused by SARS. And Kimani, if you want to take the next one.
Well, the just continuing what I said before in terms of ending the systemic racism, which is throughout, and it needs to stop. So again, the voting, get out there and vote. And with that, I will turn it over to Charmaine.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Gladly take it. And for those of you who haven't watched the beginning, after we do our introductions, we always talk about this place that we're in. And Nick brought it to us that this is worldwide. Please, please find out what's going on. And in the best way that you can, as we are trying here, get involved. Shout loud. All right. Thanks, partners. Nick and Kimani are going to go away for a little bit. And Jennifer Harge is going to come visit us for a little bit. Bye, y'all. Come on in, Jennifer. Come say hello to the people.
Hey,
Cheers.
hey, hey, hey.
Hey,
Cheers,
cheers.
cheers.
Introduce
Gotta
yourself.
sip that slowly
Oh, yeah.
before you look up and I don't know.
Before I look up and what?
I don't even know how to finish that sentence, which is why I sip slowly.
Slowly.
But thank you for inviting me into this fellowship. I am honored. I'm happy to see you. And yeah, so my name is Jennifer Harge. I am zooming to you from Anishinaabe land, also currently known as Detroit, Michigan. Um, I wanted to begin really inspired by the Black Dance Stories folks to say who I am a child of. And so I want to go 4 generations on both my mother and my father's side. So I had to write it down, of course. So you got to just give me a minute. Okay. So again, my name is Jennifer Renee Harge. I, along with my sister Jessica Robin Harge, are the children of Beverly Shockley Harge and Derek Harge. On my father's side, I am the grandchild of Elizabeth Gill Harge and Shedrick Coleman Jr., the great grandchildren of Earlette Gill and Nancy Land Gill, and Shedrick Leondis Coleman Sr. and Tara Olivia Coleman, the great great grandchildren of James Monroe Gill Jr. and Ella Gill, which I think my father said her name actually might be Mary Ella Gill, but I will look into that. On my mother's side, we are the grandchildren of Ernestine Officer Shockley and Fred Lee Shockley Sr., whose house we live in right now. The great grandchildren of Ada Price and Harv Officer, and Mary Shockley and Arthur Officer, and the great great grandchildren of Lucinda Officer and Mary and John Shockley. So I just want to put my people on the record. Um, yeah, and so even just reading those names, I'm just also I have a cold right now, so you have to ignore this sound. But I'm just also filled with like gratitude to know that I come from people who I can name. I'm already crying. mm. Charmaine, this was not. I kept it close because I already knew it was gonna happen. But no, but for real gratitude to come from Southern folks, so from Tennessee and South Carolina, to be living in the house that my grandparents bought when they moved here from Tennessee. And so just to be like held by my peoples in that way is like what's grounding me and also what is bringing me to tears. So thank you. I want to thank them. And I feel like they are like that's my dance story. I think just a vessel to share whatever they want me to say. Sometimes it's something that I understand, and sometimes I don't really know the journey, but they like, and you better keep going. I'm like, okay. So yes, those are my people, and that is why I'm here. And now I need questions, Charmaine.
Okay, I'm here for you.
I think I do.
You think, or you sure?
No, I'm sure I do. I do.
We need to hear about grandma. Come on.
Okay. So the grandmother Charmaine is referring to, her name is Ernestine Shockley, who Charmaine met over a year ago in Detroit. And that's my girl. Okay,
Oh,
that's my girl. Ernestine is 94 years old. I think she's watching us right now. She's with my parents in Saginaw, Michigan right now. And I think she's watching. And she probably gonna call me like, you told them my age? Like, that is not your story to tell. And so also like she reminds me that or how Black folks think about family business and how, I'm usually just kind of sharing these things because I love to share, and that a lot of our work is about ourselves and our stories. But then she would come to watch these stories and be like, why you have people looking at me the whole time? Like, get these folks out of my business. And so I'm reminded though, when she says things like that, like, oh yeah, everything is just not for the work. Like some things are for this living room. And that is not an invitation to send it out into the world as material. And I don't ever think I'm like exploiting our stories, but like even when I don't think that, she just like really reminds you like, why you want to know? Who want to know? And I was like, I'm gonna talk about you on this panel. She's like, no. No, like go find your own business. Tell that. So it just like she keeps it in check in the most like honest way that I've ever seen. Keeps me in check whenever I'm like, I'm so busy and I'm so this. And she like, well, you love to say yes. So why are you complaining about it? And I'm like, I actually don't really love to do that. She's like, well, you did it. And so you have to like I have to be really mindful of like what I'm saying yes to, why I'm saying yes to it. Does it serve anything in my being? Does it make me like cringe and I have to go get ready to go to the thing? Um, yeah, she keeps it in check. I remember, what did she say to you when you met her in Detroit?
I was trying to remember, but I can't.
I can't remember either, but I feel like she had a similar energy of like, y'all, why who are these people?
Maybe you need to tell a quick story about why I was there with other fabulous people.
Yes, of course. Okay. So in 2000, when did Skeleton win that Bessie?
Oh, I should know.
17, 18?
18 maybe?
I want to say 17 because
Okay, 17.
I don't know. Anyway, so Skeleton Architecture won the Bessie and it was live streamed. And so those of us who don't live in New York, we want to see what the New York kids are doing. And a dear colleague of mine, Claire Crofts, and I were both watching the Bessies. And the moment that y'all took the knee, raised your fist. I don't know if we had been talking prior to that moment via phone or text, but that moment happened. And I remember us both being like, you saw that, right? And like that just kind of like launched, not kind of, it launched this full relationship.
Yeah.
And so Claire and I mean, Claire really spearheaded the whole thing. And I mean, we were like together in ideas, but she'd be doing it. And and we created this residency between Skeleton Architecture. And at the time, the gathering had no name. It was just a collection of Black dance, women identified folks in Detroit that I had asked some dear ones to help me basically put a group together, like in the simplest of terms. And those people became the Gathering Detroit. And Skeleton Architecture came to Detroit 2 different times for 2 different residencies. And the second one being a residency that we as the 2 collectives built ourselves. So it was 5 days, 5 or 6 days, like 6-7 hour days each day, being together. Like we built the residency. And I still go back and look at that document, that Google Doc, and be like, yeah, we did that. Like, we did that. Like, and just to know that, hey, that was possible, kind of shifted a lot of things for me. And so on the last day of our residency, second to last day, we had an open sharing of the work that we had been doing together. So we invited all of our peoples, and our peoples showed up. My grandmother being one of them, because she has not missed a dance show of mine in Detroit in like 6 years since I started making work here. She's seen all of them. I would say with the exception of maybe like 1 or 2 things, but she has been in the audience for all of these shows. So she comes in, it's kind of crowded, it's kind of bubbling in the space. She comes in and we're just like, hey, she's like, where's my seat? I'm trying to, why are y'all so animated? So Charmaine so graciously welcomed her into the space, like took her hand, took her coat, She didn't care. Only a 94-year-old woman could do.
Did she talk to you after that?
So in the moment of our sharing, I am like, you took me to her, which I was so grateful for. Like we're improvising, right? So I'm just and we in the zone. you take me to her and I bawl crying. Like, you took me to her feet. I am like, this is like sums up our relationship in my mind. I get up to go give her a hug. Do you know what she said to me? That's enough. What? Having a moment. Like a true, like, familial, like, you are me, I am you. We are our people's people. She said, that's enough. Girl, get up. I don't know what this is, but y'all are doing too much for me. So keep us in check. And people were like talking to me, that mom with your grandmother was just so, oh my God. And I was like, well, guess what? Let me tell you what she said.
I'm dying. I'm dying. What about the gathering? What's going on with them?
Yeah, so this summer we have been chilling, and we decided months ago to, like, we are together thinking about our individual needs, our collective needs, and like let that fall the way it needs to fall. And also to know that we're still learning what that has to mean. And I think we really learned that. We also talk about that residency frequently. That's like the one thing that I feel like comes up, if not every time we gather, it's every other. Of like what happened in that residency, how we were transformed in that residency. Because it was like 13, 14 Black women identified folks, Black folks just in this, what used to be a sanctuary, what used to be Greater New Light Missionary Baptist Church before it was turned into a performance space. And so, like, all that energy, I think, is still in there. And so, for us to be in it, how we in it as dance folks, like, that bubbling has not left. And whenever I think about archives and like writing our own archives, um, making sure we actually do create our own archives and think about where it goes and who has access to and all these things. I think about that notebook I had the very first day of that. It was a fresh new notebook. And that's the first page. That was our first conversation, was like, how are you dealing with your archive? And I've had like several talks or panels or whatever since then, and that comes up in some way. And I'm like, my next project, I feel, for myself, is to really get clear on how I'm dealing with my archive. Because like the greatest tragedy is like to not be seen in the archive as you want folks to remember you, not just in like an obituary, or you know what I mean, which that it can live there too, but I want to make sure that my folks in my work it shows up in history the way I intended it to show up. So you gotta guess. But I really, that like really was crystallized in that residency.
You mentioned the space.
Mm.
And I don't know if you want to talk about being in the space more. If you can. Do you
Like
think what happened when we were wanting to be in the space by ourselves?
Yeah. So I feel like I didn't just censor, but I felt myself try to like sidestep to like clean it up. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to deal with that. But so I do think it is often difficult for folks to fully hand over their stuff. And I feel like when people think they own something, and like, but it's a community space. And then it's like, but no, but it's mine. I'm like, but you say it's a community space. And so like, but there's like tension in like what ownership looks like.
Mhm.
And so it was complicated in the beginning to have folks hand over the space for us, because that was a non-negotiable. We were like, if we're gonna be in here, we need whatever it was, 5, 6 days, and you as the owner can't come in. Like, not that you can be in your office, you can't, like, you literally can't come in. And that just what had to happen. And I can't imagine if we had been in it as like a shared space. And like when we come out, then rehearsal for somebody else happened. And then when they come out, we had altars up, and we needed to know that when we leave, no other energy is coming into the room. Like that would be disrespectful,
Yeah.
first and foremost. And so, yeah, I had never asked anything like that before. To be like, so listen, these are my needs. I need your building and you can't come in. But I need to start doing that more often, I think, just because that's what I need. I need the space and you have it. And you also say you for Black folks. So this is what, for me, is what it looks like, are these specific needs. And so I won't get into like the slew of solidarity statements that happened over the summer. But like you say this and that, these are what my specific needs are. And if you can't come meet those where I am in whatever city you in, then that's not really what you're saying.
Mhm. It's a
So,
lie. It's
mm-mm.
a lie.
When
Well,
we
what
got in
about,
there though, we was in there.
we was in there. We was in there. What
Mhm.
about space when you're presenting your work?
Mm.
What about what's that like? Because your work is charged.
Mm. So when I can't say you can't come in, then I found it really important. Let's take Fly Drown, for instance, which was the last work I made, which came out of that residency with Skeleton. So my notebook, actually, my Fly Drown notebook, the very first pages, excuse me, are the residency, and the rest of the notebook is my choreography thought notebook for that work. So it just fed into it. And I feel like I need another residency time just to read that notebook again, just to see like what happened. But when I can't say you can't come in, I need to make the space so clearly Black that when Black folks show up, you are very clear that this was made for you. And if you're not a part of that lineage, you're gonna just walk in being like, oh, okay, great. Like you won't even know to know it's Black. And that is intentional. So I think about Fly Drown, which was really modeled after the very living room I'm sitting in right now, which when you come into this living room, you really know that you want somebody grandma house. Okay? Somebody Black grandma house. It's very clear. You can't miss it. And so we modeled the space after that. Many of my grandmother's things were in the actual space. Um, and so the day before the show opened, there was a Black gentleman who was cleaning the space, who like the gallery had hired, right? It's like a cleaning service. And so I was warming up because it's a gallery, so there's no place to go other than the installation that we built. And so he was there. I had the music playing, and we had spoke and had small talk. And then he goes into what is we call it the front room, which was the most like clearly modeled after this living room. And he was like, "This is my big mama house." I swear. Uh-huh. And I was like, "Mine too." Mine. I'd never met him my whole life. He knew he was having a show. Cause before he was like, "What y'all doing in here tonight? What's going on in here tonight?" And I was like, "What? I'm having a show. You should come. It's free. You should come too." He stopped and he looked and he was like, "I know exactly where I am right now." And so I think that's it for me. Like when you step in, you should really know that this is for us. Like this is your people's people too. I'm not claiming it as just mine. Um, and so that has been the most necessary thing so that I can be inside of it and do my work. So that's me being a vessel I was speaking of earlier. I can't do it if I'm worried about like so and so looking at me, and so over there is here. But like I'm at home. I have made it so that I can be at home, so that I can, so whatever needs to be conjured, that can happen. Could be set it up in how we prep the space, not in the dance. In the dance too, but like the space has to always be prepared. Miriam Johnson, a dear collaborator, will always Miriam when we were making performances together, Miriam always had this role of like prepping the space or like that was I don't know why it was always Miriam, but she just always did it right. And so like, as pieces, we would make new pieces, but like the same rules always applied. And like in Miriam, she's like, I know, prep the space. Like I know, like I understand what you think needs to happen here. But yeah, I want to make sure Black folks know, especially when you're coming into museums or a theater or a gallery, that it's not like that anyone is separate from that. But I want when Black folks come to know, like, oh, we here, and yeah, we are. So have a seat and just know that like the codes will be written and only you can decode them. It is not for white people. Mm-mm.
What was it like in the church?
So we used to practice there. We used to practice. We used to rehearse there. I ain't been in rehearsal for so long. I'm not even calling it rehearsal no more. We used to rehearse there. And so we just like settled in. Similarly to the residency, we just settled in and like learned the nooks and crannies of the space. And I remember sitting there one day and by myself, and it was like 8 o'clock in the morning, 7 in the morning, something. And Aretha Franklin's father's church is down the street from where we were in that residency, from that building, like 2 blocks, block and a half. And in my shuffle, one of her songs when she was 14, singing gospel at this church, plays. And I was like, all right, heard. I understand what you want from me. And then since then, Aretha has just been deep inside of the work. She just came to the speakers wailing as Aretha does, especially when she's singing gospel music. And so the church was asking me to be real Black. And I was like, that.
What is it?
Mm-mm.
What does the audience in the church say?
I mean, it depends which audience you're talking about. Are you talking about our people in the audience? Or are you talking about the folks who come see experimental performance, which who are usually not Black? Which I'm dealing with that. I'm dealing with it.
Oh,
Mm. Well, the Black folks are usually like, right, yeah, that's correct. You know, like, yeah, you're doing this. This is how these are part of our stories. And this is how they feel, how they can feel. Um, I've stopped doing some pieces. I used to make. I created this piece called "Mourn and Never Tire"
mm-hmm.
back in 2015. Where I would read the names of Black folks killed by police since 1999, and
And
uh,
you're jogging. Tell them that too.
right. So thank you. So while running in place, you read the name, the age, the place where their death took place, um, and you can't stop running. And you're running in place, and you can't stop running until you get to the last name, the most recent name you encounter. And I this summer happened, and I was like, okay, this is usually when I would come back into mourn, and I was like, I can't, like I don't. A I thought a year ago, 2 years ago, I would stop doing it because the process of going back in and adding names was just so heavy. And then to like quote unquote rehearse that with collaborators, like it was just me preparing a rehearsal, knowing we were doing that. Oh, it took a toll on my spirit. And I was like, I don't think I can really do that. So I did it. We did it last May in California, UC Riverside. And this summer I was like, I can't do that to myself. And also I was thinking about the Black folks who encounter it. And I'm like, is this what we need is to hear this? like in just the magnitude. And you literally, I'm exhausted watching, and like that, watching Black folks watching that, I think is exhausting. And so I wasn't trying to move through a spirit of exhaustion. And so the summer happened, and I was like, I ain't got that in me. But also, I have to think about where and when I do it, because what was happening too was I would finish that, and white women would try to chase me down post performance. It happened every single time, which I was like, okay, so no more for mixed audiences. And they'll be like, oh, that was. I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm out. Like, we're not doing this in mixed crowds no more. Like, if it happens, I'm supposed to do it, it will reveal itself. But I was in Washington National Cathedral. I did this piece in front of 2,000 people in that sanctuary in the cathedral. I saw her in my peripheral vision. And the sanctuary, it hosts 2,000 people, chased me to tell me how devastating it was to hear this. And I was like, oh yeah, nah. You don't get to do that. So I can't put myself in a position to make you think it's okay to do that. Yeah. But it will
How do
reveal.
you take care of spirit though?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I need to think through how to deal with that. Because I don't think I can make it work that way and be like, I'm tired, so I ain't gonna do it again.
Right.
Like, I know that that's not the answer. But I just have to, I couldn't really face it, I think, too, this summer. Because when I think about in 2016, Alton Sterling and Philando Castile were killed, it was a very similar kind of like the momentum that happens. And yeah, so I haven't quite figured that out. But I do feel spirit is like, you gonna just ditch it? Like, that's not how this works.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I haven't quite figured out how to come back to it.
We got to bring Sabela in now.
Yeah.
Y'all got stuff to talk about, clearly. Oh. Well, cheers.
Thank
Come
you.
on in,
Cheers.
Sabela.
Cheers.
Cheers, sis. Come on in,
Thank you,
Sabela.
Charmaine.
Oh my gosh, you're so welcome. So, that was a lot, right, Sabela?
Yes.
Come on. Cheers.
Only yes. Cheers. I would take another one. Again, sipping slowly. Sipping slowly.
So there's some people here that y'all need to know about. Amy Costello is here. Stony Darling is here. Eva Ya Asantewa.
Okay.
Carol Dilly is here. Laura Marchese, Montclair in the house. Ann Davidson. Aaron Maddox is here.
Yes, y'all.
Jane Booker and Wendy Perrin is here.
Yes, y'all.
People's watching.
The people.
I'm gonna leave y'all for a minute.
Sabela, just knowing that you are sitting over there in sunny California as the night begins to creep in here in Detroit, it's giving me a different kind of light.
Talk to me right now. It's about a young 77 degrees.
First of all, don't do that.
It's a young 77 in these streets.
Wow.
Here in South Central LA.
I'm gonna just throw that onto the camera.
I am so, I'm so like, there's so much swirling in my head and heart right now. I'm thinking of what keeps coming to me is you know how Black folks love to flip the script.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of archive. I'm thinking of ARKHIVE. Right. I'm thinking of how there is a tone that we say when we say I am, and Black folks say I be. And I'm thinking about your way of being in the world that's connected to your great grandmama's story, your grandmama's story.
Grandmama story.
right? Your grandmama's story, your way of being in the world that, you know, energizes the church and says, hey, this is now a sacred space. And unless you're energetically in line, you're going to have to keep out, whether you own it or not.
Yeah.
You own the building.
That's it. But we will take care of the energy. Like, thank you and goodbye. We will now take care of the energy. Yeah. And that's, I feel like, what Black folks do. Just transform energy.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I'm just in that swirl right now. I mean, you know, I don't even know what
you got your jacket on, you got your plants behind. I mean, it's a whole mood. Like you are also transforming my energy right now. For real, but like it is. I don't know. I'm thinking about how I'm in my living room, and this just feels like when Black folks gather in living rooms, and what happens when that happens. Like the learning that you do and the whatever that is, you know. Something in my mind just came to like the laughter that happens in living, like how it's just loud and we allow it to be loud. Not that it's just loud. We allow it to be loud when we together. And I don't know. I think I'm just I love Black people first and foremost. And I just love like the way in which we release energy into the air. It's like nobody I've ever witnessed. I'm thinking about my uncle, Robert Lloyd Gill, who passed away last week, who was my father's last living uncle. And I was with my family last couple days ago at his house, my aunt's house. And just even though it's time of bereavement, like when Black folks gather,
talk to me.
We're going to gather, and we are going to be whatever kind of medicine you didn't know how to access when you was by yourself. But like when we gather, then something in that transforms the energy into something that you need. And so yeah, I'm swirling in that. Just like, when we are together, even like being with you on Zoom, like we're still gathering.
Yes.
You know? And so I'm just thinking about that as like some kind of, like that gathering is a portal.
Yes. Yes. And how you said something really interesting. Now you got me thinking. You're making me think about how Black folks literally give life. Right. So some folks go to a house and they go, "Oh, this is the living room," and on paper it's a living room. But any room can be given this life room, right?
We used to have these slumber parties. I mean, like, doesn't matter, at my aunt's house, like family members' houses, and when all the cousins would stay over, you find a spot. You would sleep under the dining room table.
Hey.
You could sleep like any corner you like. Oh, right here? Okay.
Hey.
Oh, bet. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you make it where you find a spot and you just expand into that spot. And it can be whatever you say it is. So if you under dining room table, well, tonight, that's your bed.
Yes.
And we can do that literally with any space.
Yes. 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 You're also making me think about, and I've been thinking about this heavy lately, about like this language is really failing me right now, but I'm just gonna say the importance of affirming that we love each other, right? Like how that's like so important. And I can't think of a moment. People will say, "Oh, that's really important during these times." When is it not the right time to say you love your folks, these folks that are a divine reflection of you?
Yeah.
When is it not the right time? And then I pull back and I say, "Oh, wow, there are these histories, right?
Yeah.
Of where people get, some folks get real scared.
Yeah.
To hear us say that we love each other.
Woo.
They get shook. And then just going back to life, like, it's literally us claiming love as life.
Yeah.
And loving the life that we have, right?
Mm.
For some folks, it's literally like you are suffocating them. And I'm thinking, well, where do you get your air? Where do you get your air?
Yeah.
If me saying that I love you is a problem, right? And so much of a problem that you want to get violent century after century, right? I'm only thinking about that. I was thinking there's the 1919 massacre. And after the whole thing, I'm reading and I'm like, so wait a minute, let me get this straight. These Black folks said, wait a minute, we just want to get paid a little bit more.
Yeah.
So we're going to create a union. Because I'm looking at how the system works and y'all create a union. So we'll create a union. And it's about livelihood, right? I need to get paid more so I can feed my family.
Yeah.
So that my granddaughter can dance. Right? Life, yo, in these living rooms.
Yeah.
In these multi-dimensional living rooms.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. You better bring the word.
I'm tripping right now. Let me stop, y'all. Let's talk about, these people want to talk about dance and whatnot.
No, first of all, I mean, I love dance. But I would rather talk about what you talk about. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Because that's what we do. That's what we do.
Yeah.
I don't know. You said
how we, I feel like how then we have
that made me think about.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, what?
No. Oh, how we can make dance?
No, you just were saying. You said something about. Yeah. Yeah. How? Why?
Yeah.
When?
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah.
For who? Which is I was gonna go to, like, this idea of audience. Who's showing up? Who's showing up to your quote unquote experimental dance, right?
Yeah.
So there's folks in the audience and those physical bodies, and who else is showing up? So there's a misreading sometimes, I think. I think there's a misreading. I think people walk in and they go, oh, that's interesting. But they don't know who else is showing up.
Talk about it. Yeah.
I'm tripping. Let me stop.
No, not at all. Even so, the installation I was talking about on the wall, all the collaborators, I invited them to put a picture of their own ancestral folks on the wall. So there was, when you first walk into the installation, there was a portrait wall that had all of our really immediate ancestors. And so they, when the building is closed and when, you know what I mean, everyone goes home, like that's who is left in the space. So what you're saying, I think, is just really reminding me that a lot of other folks be in there. We've invited them in there.
Yes. Yes.
Guess
and they in the
back?
space giving life.
Right. Dr. Warren.
I know you did it.
Yes. Dr. Warren.
I'm trying to write down some of this stuff. Transforming energy. I'm trying to be a part of y'all's life. Be in the living room of life. Being loud. Okay? Before you go, Jennifer.
Yes.
Esther Tarpaga and Olivia Tarpaga are here. Jamal Barnes just joined, and David Binder is here.
Yeah.
Hey. Oh, cheers.
Cheers.
See you in a minute, Jennifer.
Okay.
Sabela, what up?
I'm chilling. I'm so, I'm drinking a little lemongrass / mint tea from the garden. You know what I mean? I'm feeling nice right now.
Come on,
feeling
introduce
really nice.
yourself. Tell the people what you want to tell the people.
Hey Delvin, yeah. Hey Delvin, yeah. Introduce yourself. All right. Introduce. All right. My name is D. Sabela Grimes, aka Oversoul 7, aka Tehuti Star, aka Twice Born, aka Professor G, aka the Boogie, aka the Funk Instructor, aka Peanut Butter Yellow, almost red, slicker than most. And I am a Black non-disabled man. Um, I go by he, him, his, and they, because Black folks been saying they for all kinds of different pronouns for years. And I love that about them colored folk. I love it. Yo, you know they tripping. Just to give y'all an example. I am wearing a black t-shirt with a beaded necklace. My skin is about the color of the sand in the Sahara at dusk on a young spring evening. I'm also wearing a, a duster that I designed that's actually from an old Maurice jeans, Maurice Malone. Oh, Maurice Malone, I think he's from Detroit, Jennifer. A designer that set off that next wave of Black flyness during the hip hop era. Yeah, I think he is from Detroit. I have to look that up. And it's got like these, it's got like the names of different hairstyles: Caesar, locks, fades, braids and fades, and it's blue. It's got some burgundy in there, a little orange. I'm sitting in my living room too, Jennifer, um, with the blue plated wall. It might look green to y'all. It's a nice little, life love here on the orange couch. There's a lot of colors going on in my house. Um, I am, yeah, I'm like traveling at light speed. I'm traveling through a continuum of being. I in a constellation of love, right? I in a constellation of love. I shine, son of Delvin Hawkins and Edna Mae Scott. Um, I am connected to in this constellation. I shine with Elizabeth Johnson, uh, Lewis Charles Delvin Jr. Hawkins, and my grandmother Nan Hawkins. I am shining with John, Sandra, Ronald Jones, Jeffrey and Stephanie Wise. I am shining with part of the continuum, my flow with James and Christine Grimes, James, John, Deborah, and Darlene. I shine with you. Thank you. I am grandson of Cullis and the patron saint of Salisbury, North Carolina, Miss Savannah, aka Miss Savannah Reed, aka Mama Reed. I am the grandson of Abner Reed. I shine because you shine, Grandmama. I am son of John Jones, John and Gloria Grimes, born in San Antonio, Texas, raised in Southern California. I am here to just sit here and trip out with y'all a little bit. Um, wow, I'm connecting to so many things right now. One is, living in LA, acknowledging that this city was founded by African and what we now call Latino, Afro-Mexican folks. We sit on Tongva land. I'm like looking out my window right now, Gabrielino land. And I just want to be really clear. These people are not ghosts, fam. We on their land and they not ghosts. We're not talking about some spirits of you know, Turtle Island past. So I acknowledge that and I feel that. And it is really important for me. I ain't gonna press nothing upon y'all, but it's really important for me to acknowledge that. Also having connections in this constellation, on this planet, in this Earth suit, um, to folks that have been here for hundreds to thousands of years. So when you see me, you see that. No matter, what sort of phenotype you've been fed to believe looks like a native. And that's real. And so when I talk about the sun, the shine, the continuum, the constellation, I'm also talking about the planetary galaxy that we are flowing to and through as part of this continuum. The knowledge, I'm talking about this, what we're planting in this soil and the life that the earth gives us is connected to that as well. Yeah, but y'all came to hear about some dance. So let me stop tripping and talk to y'all about a dance story. You know, I want to tell y'all, people always ask me, how did you get into dance? And I remember someone, I'm trying to remember when and where, someone was asking me about my dance lineage. And wherever we were, someone decided they would answer for me. And so they said where in their mind, where my timeline was. And I was thinking, yeah, I'm gonna have to just shut that down. But sometimes you're in mixed company, you're like, do I just interject? This person didn't really mean anything. But ever since that moment, I thought about, yeah, how am I connected to what I do professionally and really what I do spiritually, right? Which for me is different. And I think about timelines and I think about really circularity, like circling back and having these sort of Sankofa moments, back and fetching in the archive, you feel me out there? And thinking about the ARK, the archive, the vessel, right? That I'm, using to travel. You get ice cream. Can y'all hear the ice cream, man? Speaking of vessels, maybe I came here on an ice cream truck. Anyway, and I remember when I first started teaching dance, people would go, "Oh, I started dancing at such and such and such and such studio," and I was like, "Yo, that's just not my story, yo." So as I would meditate on it, I think there's something that's so profound in my head. And funny enough, it was when my parents were doing the bump. And I swear, y'all heard of the Big Bang Theory and like sparks, and then, all these things happen. I swear that when my parents were doing the bump, that there was like these sparks in the cosmos of my being that led me to do what I do now. But you know what? You know what we're gonna do though, for real, for real? You don't want to hear me. You really want to hear the real deal. So we gonna drag my peoples in this, just so y'all can get. Hi, mama. Can you talk right now? Are you with Pop? To what's the name of the street I live on? That street. That street back. I was gonna call you and tell you that I could call you on the regular phone if you. Now let's just talk. They gonna slide though. They gonna slide though. All right, mama. So, I'm talking about all these origin stories, and I think, people always ask me, hey, so when did you start dancing? When did you know you want to be a dancer? And one of the things and I shared this with you a while back. One of the things I remember is when we lived in Idaho, is seeing you all do the bump. You remember when y'all used to do the bump?
Are you kidding? Remember, we were 2 times stacked at the base.
I mean, let's just think about that real quick. Let's just put all these pieces together, Mama. Idaho and the bump. First of all, that's already joggling a lot of people's minds out there. But how are y'all having bump competitions in Mountain Home, Idaho? Can you just, who's organizing these competitions? What's going on?
Well, so isolated. The NCO club had little extra activities because, being so isolated, nothing else available. So every Saturday they had some type of little dance competition or whatever. And when we won, look, you always won alcohol, even though we didn't drink. But that's what they had. They had little special things. Well, you win champagne or whatever, and me and Pop would just clown up and win.
Do you think it sounds crazy that whenever I think about one of the reasons I love to dance is that I remember y'all doing the bumps. Of course, I wasn't at the competitions. I just remember when y'all would have gatherings at the house and y'all used to cut up.
Yeah, that was when, really right in the middle of Sherman K.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we used to, go to each other's house. But your actual dancing started before we went. It was at in McMillan Square when we lived there in San Antonio. I'm asking Thomas and Nina. I have little video tapes of you dancing, doing your little thing in the living room. Remember, we didn't have no furniture. And I took a box and wrapped up some leopard skin around it, made me a little tape, and you just dancing in the back, doing your little number. And then, of course, when we went to Idaho and folks would come over, we'd be some dancing fools. What's funny is that was always my desire to be a dance teacher, and I thought, I just since my husband's in the military, when we move around, I'll just have my own little dance and teach, military kids dance. Isn't that something? Because I had looked into Trinity University right there in San Antonio that had a night, well, according to the, what I was told, it had one of the finest dance programs. And when I looked into signing up for it, guess what?
What?
I got pregnant with you.
I messed it up. I messed it up.
But you made it for it. Look, you're teaching it now.
I bet you Trinity University didn't have bump offer. They didn't have no bump 101.
But I used to do little stuff, and you'd mark me. You do your own little creative. I got the cutest little video of you just dancing, doing your little. I have to find that. I'm gonna just do what I'm doing now in my closet and just go through those tapes and find it and have your dad. We got that that thing that you can take that and make it into a some other kind of that's more up to date, or even Walgreens they offer.
Not Walgreens. We ain't giving Walgreens a little plug, are we, Mama?
Walgreens offer a little way you can go down and take your tapes and they will do it for you.
Okay. Yeah. I can do that for you, so don't worry about it. But we on YouTube Live right now, and I don't want none of these people thinking that they got access to those tapes. So we're gonna cut that short right now. They think they're gonna come over for a screening. They think they're gonna see it. I'm gonna upload it on Vimeo. They ain't tripping.
Look, whoever's listening, I'll make it available for a fee. but yeah, you were a precious little dancer.
Well, I appreciate you, Mama. Thanks for jumping in.
Okay, well, you all have a delicious, delightful dancing Thursday night.
Sounds good. Love you, mama. Bye.
Oh no, that what Pop was saying. Did you tell him? I used to say stop, but he didn't say stop dancing. It was sing.
He said, shut up.
Just say all the time. Boy, do you just kind of have
Right.
to sing all the time? Can you just shut up?
No, he would always say, he'd be like, boy, do you ever shut up? You always, and you know, Pop one of them, he was like, you always just, if it ain't making faces. That's cold, Pop.
Don't forget that a joyful heart does good like medicine.
Say word.
That's it.
Say word. Love you, mama.
Thank you, baby.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So, look, moms got the rapidy raps. So I had to cut moms off. So if y'all feeling some kind of way, sorry. It's my story. She gonna try and house my story. No, I'm just joking. That's my mom's though. Real talk. I've been so like deep in the sort of meditative practice over the last, especially like the last 10 years of bringing it back around, this sort of circulation of energy, and then just always coming back to one thing, which is joy. Where is my joy? Where is my joy? If I can't fence, if I can't sense, that's feel and sense, fence. If I can't sense, feel just a particle, a nugget, a strain, a tone, a glimmer of joy in what I'm doing, I my body might be moving, but I sure ain't dancing. If I am composing or choreographing and it's devoid of joy, I don't know what I'm doing. I just that's that medicine, yo. Mom, it's so fun. My mom, she quick fire with the verses, yo. Don't play. Don't play. She got verses on deck. Y'all better stop playing with moms. But it's true. It's like, what is this medicine? And for those of you all that have been in this game for a minute, and those of you all that are entering this dance game, and you somehow at some time find your sense of self-worth aligned with whether or not you got a grant, whether or not there was a sold out house, like especially if you Black, please recalibrate. Please get yourself a tune up. Please drink a little act right juice, because our relationship to this thing we do called dance is so deep, and the root systems are so ancient that these other little systems of getting such and such grant. Marjani, I'm calling Marjani like she can answer. It's so funny. I was talking to Marjani Forte Saunders the other day, and you know, she's tripping talking about you get all the grants. I was like, child, I got one NDP, Nair Creative Capital. And it was funny that for us to talk about how, you know, there's a perception that you may get funding, may not funding, but the fact that there's this body of work really exemplifies that I love this shit. Like I really, really love each opportunity to share space with people, AKA rehearsal, to be in this sort of thought partnership, in the storytelling, right? I think about, yeah, can I tell you one more story? I'm gonna tell you one more story. I used to teach Head Start at this place called New Beginnings Head Start in North Philly. And I had a student, I'm not gonna say the student's name, let's call the student, you know, Jayla. Let's say the student's name is Jayla. And Jayla would come to I'm just trying to tell y'all a story. I'm just trying to tell you how spirit works. That's all I want to do, right? Jayla came into my class every day, would cry. Every day. Every day. And Jayla would come in Top of the morning, cry. Cry through breakfast, cry through circle time, cry through nap time, cry through lunch, cry. Till her grandma picked her up. Week after week, and I mean cry. And she used to do this rock when she would cry. And so then it became this sort of like improvisation that would then morph into this choreography of Jayla would sit in this one place, Jayla would cry. The only time we didn't hear crying was when she was putting something in her mouth to eat. Boom. She'd swallow, cry, boom. Then we'd go over to console me, or Mr. Abdullah would go console, and there was just like this beautiful dance, and Jayla would rock, boom, boom, and cry. And one day I was reading, we have circle time, and so you have to imagine like we were by the window on Tioga Street window, and then right at an angle was the little tables where they would have their little playtime and where they would eat, and she would sit at the table. She wouldn't sit on the carpet. So she just would sit at the table, rock and cry. And then one day, I heard, you know, and so I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. And so me and all the students, 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, it was amazing. We all just kind of looked. And I said, Jayla ain't crying. Everybody was like, Jayla ain't crying, Jayla ain't crying. I said, but what's Jayla saying? And we just heard, and then I started to rock to it. I said, hey, I know that melody. Jayla, I know that melody. And then so I walked over, and then the kids came around to Jayla, and I'm rocking to it, and we all rocking to it, and we all around Jayla. Jayla got mad, snot, and stuff, just running, eyes just all over the place, but she just won. And then she was like, yes. And we rocking, and then I was like, oh, I know what that is. True player for real, ass Puff Daddy. True player for real, ass Puff Daddy. And I was like, Smalls. And y'all, we had the best time in that moment. From that day on, Jayla didn't cry anymore. From that, in that moment, everyone around her, just being affirmed, being held, all the weeks leading to that, all of that process, that time, right? And then I was like, yo, this is so deep. And I told you, I'm gonna tell you how spirit works. The name of the song is called One More Chance. Y'all not hearing me right now. The name of the song is One More. Woo! God dog it. Just thinking about it. Woo! Spirit was like, one more chance. I've never forgot that. One more chance. This child was singing one more chance. And that's what we did. Every day we gave Jayla one more chance. One more chance. So I do a piece called Electrogenous. And there's a moment. There's a moment in Electrogenous that I improvise and witness. And 3 sisters dance, and there's a call and response. And there's a lot of threes in Electrogenous. And Austin, shout out to Austin, all caps Rich, and we were on the periphery, and we just witness. And we witness in the way that you witness when you're honoring Black women playing. Shout out to Kyra Khan, Dr. Khan. Shout out to Black women who have these systems of intelligence that just swirl on playgrounds, that just are something to behold, and we just witness. We shout out to Marjani, Amaria, Brianna Mims, Nina Flag, everyone that's been in that triad. We witnessed them, and I just freestyle a poem, and this poem is a love letter to Bacola and Toni Morrison. Shout out to Toni Morrison. And this love letter, sometimes it swirls in me. It swirls in me like a letter of like an apology letter to Black women. It's like I love you and I love you so much that I know that there's like moments I apologize for like not quite being, in alignment with my higher self to support you. And in that poem, I do this rock, and that's that Jayla rock. It's really this child's now an adult's rock, and I do that rock, and I conjure up that moment of one more chance, one more chance. And so in that love letter, I am saying, Picola, one more chance, one more moment. I'm saying, thank you, Toni Morrison. Woo, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm saying thank you, thank you, thank you, Sonia Sanchez, who taught me how to understand the depth of repetition sonically, how to impress this sound of my body on the Akashic record, on this Woomniverse. I'm writing a love letter to these women. Mama Kariamu, Ashasanti, Brenda Dixon Gotchill, like my mama and them constantly. Woo! Yes, you caught me. Spirit caught me.
Come
there was
on.
no time.
Come on, Jennifer. Come on.
Woo!
Woo! Need a moment, right?
My bad. We're supposed to be talking about dance.
You are.
I'm signifying.
All of these women. Calling all of these women. Yes.
Woo. Bringing in the spirits.
Come on.
Sabela. Jennifer.
I'm feeling you, Sabela. When I think of watching Jennifer do that piece that you talked about in the church, and you get lost, and spirit talks to you, and you have no control because spirit talks to you. All those women that you just named. I'm just gonna call out my mama's name again, Pearline Warren.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
And
say their names.
Emily Shockley.
Yes.
My mama name.
Come on now.
I want his mama.
So beautiful.
Can we talk about a two-time champ?
In Idaho.
Hey.
I mean,
what else is there to be said?
I mean, I should get funding. Like, I shouldn't even have to fill out an application.
There's nothing else to be said. You're like, do you know my lineage?
Thank you, all you funders out there, two-time champs. Where the checks at?
It's y'all not here.
Wow. Hi, Kimani. Hi, Nick. Hi. So I'm going to go through some of these. Kimani, you can help too, but and Nick help too, but.
So powerful. I just have to say, like, seriously, the mama power, the power of like the beauty of your teaching and allowing someone to be, you're making me just like feel the feeling. Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Sabela.
Amy Casello, way back in the beginning, said, hello to the Black dance story folks on this wet and cold day. And then comes Sabela in the warm sun.
I hope it wasn't cold no more after what we just received.
Can we talk about that?
Woo. Sabela. Speaking of transforming energy.
And for everybody out there, we know that Sabela's internet was in and out a little bit. But I think you got it all. I think you got, did you free Sabela? Oh, maybe he froze. Yes, he froze. Dang it.
Oh no.
I know, I thought so. But let me read some of these statements from our fabulous friends out there, and hopefully he'll come back. Carol Dilly, I'm thrilled to meet new. I am thrilled to meet new, to me, artists. Oh, yay. See, that's one of the pluses of being here. Yes to transforming energy, gathering as portal. Black folks give life. Yes. Affirming that we love each other. That was a moment.
Yeah.
Both of you affirming that you love each other. That was a moment. Claiming love as life and loving life we have. And when Sabela said, where do you get your air? Wow. Wow. I'm going to see if I can reach out to Sabela and make sure he's good. Y'all good? Please. Talk amongst yourself.
I'm good.
Yes, tell us something, Jennifer, because it's so powerful. You know, like talking about this is dance. You know, when Sabela keeps saying, well, we'll talk about this is dance.
And when we make like this, I feel like what is charging the making. I don't. And I just met Sabela literally on this Zoom call 2 hours ago, but I don't feel that we're walking into a studio and being like, what dance will I make? It's like, what is urgent right now?
Right.
Like what is moving through me right now that I have no choice but to do this thing. I'm grateful for like to be such a vessel for that passing through.
You said that you are not in the studio right now. You by yourself, right? COVID?
Yeah, so I have a studio space. That when all this first began, there's a dear friend and there's a place called Jam Handy in Detroit. It's a warehouse kind of building, event space, whatever you want to call it. And early on, I was like, and I have a small sprung floor, big enough for like one, maybe two people. And I was like, I need.
Oh, he's coming back. Yeah, sorry, okay. Keep going.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. This is more interesting.
No, finish what you were saying. We were just talking about moving or doing whatever you do because you make work during COVID.
Right. So I early on put this sprung floor in the space, and I was like, cool, I got a space. I have a space to go. It's only mine. For health reasons, right? Because of COVID, but like also, I've never had my own studio. And I have probably moved on that floor since March, April, 3 times. So I'm like, what I used to consider my practice before, something in that wasn't true. And I need to deal with that. And I get on the floor now and I'm like, oh, I have to learn new things. So something in that I was borrowing or like learning, or I was inheriting things from like modern dance or from postmodern dance, or like whatever that Western European, whatever that thing was, like it has come with me. It's how I've gotten to many places. And so when I step on the floor now, it's just like, no. That's not what's about to happen next. So I can't even move. I get on the floor and I'm like, do I need a sprung floor? Like, I don't think that's a requirement of what's happening next.
Oh no, did we lose him again?
I think he just turned his.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, no, he's still there.
Oh, good.
So yeah, I'm thinking a lot about what my future in my body is, because I think it's very different from what I have known before. And that is my current moment of being terrified.
Or as Sabela said, recalibrate.
Yeah, it is. Recalibration is scary. But I feel like my body is trying to recalibrate. And I wrote all these scores last year about recalibration. And I think I was just doing it in theory. And now it's like, no. I really did mean recalibrate your wings. That was a whole score I made. And it's like a whole dance. And it's like, no, I was serious though. Like, I know you like the lights and the people watching you. But like, I really did mean recalibrate your wings. And I was like, oh, I thought it was poetic. And
Clearly you two have to get together with this recalibrate thing. What are you doing to recalibrate, brother? Or are you recalibrating?
Definitely. When it comes to like space, this is the studio isn't my first, that's just not it, right? I'm actually in the last couple of years have learned to just take advantage of being at the university for space, but it's not my go-to. But what has been really amazing is that Leimert Park here in LA it's a frequency field for me. And oftentimes I go there and I just dance. In the last couple of, like, if there was like a student, like a designated space, I just go to Leimert Park. And I've been doing, there's a sort of idea, this quantum leaper that I embody called Quantum. And I will put that outfit on that and I just go. And the recalibration is, like I say, the circling back. You fill out an application and people, or you talk to a presenter and they go, who is your audience? And I know, there's so many audiences. And what I appreciate is I just go and it's whoever shows up. I know, post it online. Hey, I'm going to be it. I just go and I just dance. People come by and they go, hey man, I remember I used to do the little pop lock, right? Or I get cussed out, or come dance with me. Oh,
uncles being like, hey,
bro. I just do that little pop lock, boy. Yeah, but Leimert Park has been part of that recalibration for sure. It's a special place.
It's a yearning, right? You miss it so much. You got to move.
Yeah.
And I love that both of you said love. I didn't mean the word love, but both of you talked about, well, actually you started it, Jennifer. They want us to talk about dance. And then you said it, Sabela. No, this is, you talk about whatever, but this feeds you, your family, the park, being here together, being loud. I have a brother-in-law, well, kind of sort of brother-in-law, that takes an aspirin after he leaves our house after Thanksgiving because it's too loud for him. He does, whatever. But it's loud when we gather.
It's loud.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like, I can guarantee. Uncle I was talking about, Robert Lloyd Gill, rest his whole soul. But his funeral is this weekend. And I can guarantee for the next few gatherings, it is going to be loud.
It's going to be loud.
If nothing else, I can guarantee it's going to be loud. And that's the frequency moving on. And that's just what it is.
Come on.
And I don't even want to call it loud. I want to call it, that's the volume.
Come on.
You have to know that.
The volume in the living room.
That is the volume.
Y'all, it's time. How did that happen?
You done brought the spirits in tonight.
I'm telling you.
I love it. Our power went out. So I was like, something must be happening.
Wow.
You look at you.
And if there's any reason to have kids, in 2020 and beyond, they will let you know if the Wi-Fi ain't working.
Oh yes, trust me.
You're the first to know.
My game, my YouTube. not working? Hello?
Shout out to
You all know that?
Jay.
That's what was going on. Oh, wow.
They
Well,
will let you know immediately.
Come on.
Right?
Well, did y'all miss anything? Do we need to say anything? People were commenting about, Laura Marchese said, incredible testimonial to power of connecting with the child. And yes, even with the Wi-Fi. Do we miss anything you want to shout out to anybody before we say an official goodbye?
I'm so full. I definitely just want to splash gratitude. Is the chat on YouTube? Yeah, so I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna have to just say this. I just need y'all right now, whatever you're grateful for, throw it in the chat. Let's go. Throw it in the chat right now. What are you grateful for?
Let's go.
I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for Jennifer. Yes. Yes. Black Dance Stories. Yes. And I got to recognize, I didn't know I was supposed to call you Dr. Charmaine. Yeah. Yes. So just want to splash some gratitude. Thank you so much.
Man.
Yes. And I am, grateful for all of you. I was very nervous prior to coming on, being like, what I'm going to say, da, 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 da. And Black folks gathering just put me into a place where I need to be. And I'm grateful for how we move, how we make, how we be. So thank you.
Kimani, you're keeping track of the chat. You want to read them out real quick?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So coming over here, see if anyone left any gratitudes.
Nick, if you see any, you can help her
Yeah,
out too.
Ava is grateful for BDS, and Davison says BDS as well. Laura Marchese, grateful for this space to learn. The Read In series, you all, hashtag street dance activism. Amy Casella is grateful for open conversation. The list keeps coming in. Olivier is grateful for gathering and listening to these stories. Amy Cassell is also grateful for enthusiasm. C. Dilly 2 is grateful for dance, dancers, and dance stories. And Jamal is grateful for this platform.
Yes, y'all.
Hey.
Come on, Black Dance Story. You gotta build something. You gotta build something.
Yes.
Yes.
We're doing it.
What looks like lack to Black folks is just an invitation.
Let's go.
To expand.
Let's go.
An invitation.
Oh.
Let's go.
Yeah?
Next week.
Oh, next week.
Business.
No, next month, yo. Next month.
Next month.
November. First of all, just remember to vote, people.
Breathe.
That's next week, right, Kimani? Next week.
Breathe.
But the November lineup, Jamil Olawale Kosoko and Shannon Judson, Samantha Spees, Virginia Johnson, Diane Harvey Salam, and Maurice Chestnut. Boom.
The stars are coming.
What happened today?
I mean, yes. However,
no,
y'all are coming.
Black Dance Story rocks.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I have to say, Sabela, your mother has the title, delicious, delightful, night.
Yes. Wait, Kimani, you have to repeat that in a second as our goodbye. But I have to say an official goodbye. And as always, as I've been trying to say, go do what the good Congressman John Lewis said. Go get into some good trouble. But also, let's quote Mama for tonight.
Yes.
Delicious, delightful, dancing night.
Hey.
So beautiful.
Bye, folks. Come back next week. There's more. Go vote.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.